Locals in wildfire-stricken Maui have been demanding accountability from leaders since flames suddenly swept through the island and scorched their piece of paradise last week. More than 100 people have died, and search and rescue crews are still looking for hundreds of those missing. In the last few days, Herman Andaya, chief of the Maui Emergency Management Agency, has defended his decision not to sound the sirens. Last night, he resigned from his post following harsh criticism over the island's response. However, in his resignation letter, he cited his health as the reason to step down. Joe Khalil has more on the resignation. So, Joe, what is the very latest here?
Well, it is surprising, the timing of this, Kelly, because Herman Andaya resigning right in the middle of one of the largest disaster responses in Maui's history is sort of like a coach or an assistant coach resigning at halftime of the Super Bowl, right? This is when he would be needed most. He does say that he's resigning because of health reasons, but you'd be forgiven if you were skeptical of that explanation. Herman Andaya has come under heavy scrutiny over the last couple of days for the way that he was managing the emergency response to these fires. It was his call not to set off those sirens that people who survived the fire said they did not get any alarm, any warning that these fires were coming or were going to be as bad as they were. And there are also some questions now about his background as to whether or not that prepared him for this role that he's in now. He had no real natural disaster prep, no emergency management experience, so questions about whether he was fit for this job. Earlier this week, before he resigned, though, he got questions about his background and he defended it. Here's what he said.
So the news story talks about how I didn't have experience before taking on a job, and that's not true. Before taking on a job, I was a member of the cabinet. I was deputy director of the Department of Housing and Human Concerns, as well as the mayor's chief of staff for 11 years. And so during that time, I was I oftentimes report to the emergency operations centers, and I have done this on numerous occasions. Also during that time, we went through numerous trainings as well. And so to say that I am not qualified, I think is incorrect.
So Andaya also defended his decision not to sound those sirens that we talked about before the fire. He says that people in Maui are used to hearing those sirens when tsunamis are coming, and they're trained and conditioned to get to higher ground when that sound goes off. So he says that he feared sounding the alarms might send people running up toward the tops of the mountains and toward the fire. That was a real fear, he says. So again, defending that decision that's now come under heavy criticism. In a statement, Maui's mayor says here, quote, "Given the gravity of the crisis we're facing, my team and I will be placing someone in this key position as quickly as possible. I look forward to making that announcement soon." No announcement yet, though, so we don't know who's going to be replacing him. We also reached out to Hawaii's state emergency response system to see if maybe in light of these fires and the death toll now, the protocol around sounding these alarms, these sirens, might change. So far, no response from them. Kelly.
All right. We will follow up with you on that. So as you know, Joe, President Biden currently at Camp David with leaders of Japan and South Korea. The Maui wildfires were a topic there as well. What was discussed?
Yeah, it was interesting. So President Biden obviously heading to Maui on Monday. So that's big news there. But we just learned that the Prime Minister of Japan announcing that there's going to be $2 million sent from Japan to the response effort in Maui as well. So this fire top of mind, not just for the United States, but for some of our global partners as well. Kelly.
Absolutely. Happy to hear that aid is coming. Joe Khalil, thank you as always.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.